Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, with my amazing co-host, Michelle. Here with me, well, not live in person, but live online. How are you doing today, Michelle, to talk about the reunion, part 1 and 2. And we're going to do some drafting today.
Woohoo! I'm excited. It's been a whirlwind of days because we got to see each other finally in person a couple days ago at the Bryson Wen event for Survivor premiere. Loving Survivor. I've started watching Survivor Australia, so I'm already getting invested in that. I'm watching Brains versus Brawn right now for anyone, so no spoilers for the current season. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm excited about this draft. There's a lot of awesome options, so let's get into it.
Whoop, whoop. Yes, and Matthew Amberstan is here. How are you doing today, Matthew?
I'm doing great. After a 1 week hiatus, happy to be back to wrap up season 38, which I believe started 8 to 12 months ago. It's nice to be wrapping it up and moving on to the next in just 5 days.
Yes. I'm actually pretty pumped about the global championship season. Like the fact that everybody is pretty badass. I think that's really fun. Like there's no real layups. So I think it's just going to be a fun draft. People are going to have really strong teams, and we're not really going to know what's going to happen because we don't know how everybody's going to be paired up yet. So basically, what I was thinking is that we'd start by just talking about some of the drama that might have happened on the reunion, just to wrap up, as Matthew was saying, season 38, and then we will get into the draft, which sounds great. So I have to say, I watched part 1 and then I forgot to watch part 2. So I watched a little bit of it. So I saw what I think was an important part. But what were some of the highlights from the reunion? Both parts.
Yeah, I mean, I think the highlights for me, my favorite part of both parts of the reunion was in part 1 when Veronica called out Bananas and Bananas clammed up, where she essentially accused him of being a serial cheater, which I think
We know.
people know to be the case, for those that kind of follow along with Bananas. And Bananas was not happy about it. I thought that was a highlight.
Love that.
I mean, other highlights, which I mean, we can get to a little bit later towards the end, but some stuff with Amber B that happened in part 2.
Well, let's start with maybe what happened in part 1 with Amber B. So she announces that she is pregnant. So congratulations, Amber. A lot of the people on the season are probably happy that she's not going to be there to compete with anymore, because I think that if she was on a couple more seasons, I wouldn't be surprised if she won again. So people are probably happy that they have a chance here. So what do you guys think about the news of Amber B being preggers?
I mean, it's funny because we just always have these challengers that are pregnant when they're on the show, and then we find out after. So she's added to that statistic.
Well, so do you think that she was pregnant on World Championships?
Like she might not have known, or maybe not, because I don't know the specific dates and things. But like the timing is kind of crazy because like she looks pretty pregnant now. So I mean, probably shortly after, if not during. But I'm really happy for her. She seems happy.
Yeah, I'm really happy for her and Chauncey as well. I do have the worry that we're going to be in a situation where 2-3 episodes into the global, she's getting pulled from the game. I hope not. I mean, I don't want her to go home early for other reasons, but I'd love to see her win global. But I do have that worry just based on timing that, I mean, she looked she looked like she was definitely a few months along at the reunion, which was probably filmed 2 months ago at this point. And I do think the reunion was filmed shortly after Global.
Yes, it was.
So I do have a worry there.
Yes, I do. Like that, my instinct is that she's pulled from Global. That's my instinct. And what does that mean? Is that Jenny West goes into the game?
Maybe. I think we should make a rule: whoever gets Amber B gets her replacement.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It could also be a situation like with just because of like COVID restrictions, like her partner might just get screwed over, like Casey Cooper and Kahada.
Only reason why I don't think that is I feel like with them, they were like a package deal, but I wouldn't be surprised if people are going to be switching out partners this whole time. And so the fact that there are alternates on site, I think it would be, this is the exact situation that it would be for, you know?
Yeah, I think it would just depend how late into the season. Like if it was like
Right.
halfway through, I don't know. I feel like the alternates would probably be
Gone
gone
home.
by then.
That's true.
But we'll see. I mean, hopefully it's not an issue, but we'll see if Jenny West does come in. I mean, I'll be happy to see her, but I think she should have been there anyways. But
Definitely.
yeah, I mean, hopefully everything's good with Amber, and that was definitely a highlight. So super happy for her as an Amber B stan.
So we do have some friends here joining us for our little recap and our little cast assessment draft. We have Rodrigo. Yes, it is going to be fun times. We don't even have to hope. We know, Lena. We know it's going to be fun. Willie says, "Happy guys." Oh, hey guys, happy Friday. Happy guys, you know. Dabu's here. Very exciting. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, see? Lena says, Michelle, you will love Survivor.
I'm literally 2 episodes in and I'm already like invested beyond and just, I don't know, something about it. And I will say, if I'm looking away, the voice of the host really sounds like Jeff. Like they found someone who's very similar, but he just is like less involved.
Well, he's
maybe he will become
in the tribal councils. I find he's very involved, and on the mat, I find he's very involved. But like, I allow him to do it. I like JPL, whatever. Anybody else here that's new? Oh yes, but I didn't say that he doesn't like dating the women on the show because they're used up. When did he say that? Yikes!
But so him and Mariah are still together at the point of the reunion.
Of the reunion, right? Yes, they were still together at that point. Yes.
So there was something about part 1 with the banana situation. Something that had really kind of irked me was I listened to the Challenge official podcast afterwards, and they talked about everything from the first part of the reunion, and then they skipped over the part about Veronica calling out bananas. And I was thinking, well, that was the best part of the first part of the reunion. That was really the only like extremely entertaining thing, like drama that happened. So why did they skip it up? So I tweeted at Davon and Devin, and I said, "Hey, are you guys not allowed to like talk about bananas negatively on the podcast? Like, no offense to you guys, it's just like weird that it was glossed over." And Davon responded to my tweet and said, "No, we talked about it. The editors must have edited it out of the podcast." And I was like, okay, well, that's even weirder then. If like the official podcast is editing out the most dramatic part of the podcast and episode, it's like, why? And then in part 2 of their podcast, they brought up the fact that a lot of people were tweeting like, "Hey, why are you not talking about bananas?" And they talked about it a little bit, and they said like, "Yeah, we acknowledge that bananas is a fuck boy, and sometimes the editors will just take things out of the podcast." And it seemed like Davon was like not really happy about that.
Well, because it makes them look like journalists, you know.
And Devin and Davon, like they bring the realness that Anissa and Tori don't provide for me as podcast hosts. So yeah, I would be surprised if they wouldn't mention that. So I'm glad that they acknowledged it, and I love that they like saw your tweet and were like, "Yeah, no."
Yes.
So what I was gonna say as well on that is Veronica was tweeting after part 1 of the reunion, and she was saying, like, yeah, they didn't even show the half of it. Like, the only reason I said that is because Bananas was like ripping me apart for like 20 minutes. Like saying that I can't do the challenge anymore because I'm too old and out of shape. And she was like, "Well, Bananas, I'm like 3 years older than you." And like he was just ripping into her. He obviously doesn't like her. She doesn't like him. They haven't got along for
history for
a
sure.
while. But yeah, they kind of like protected him there. So she was saying she was surprised that they even showed any of what she had said. I wish they showed more because I mean, I'd love to, I don't know, like I'm done with Bananas. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of so many of these people.
Who are you
And
sick of? Let's hear.
I'm sick of Bananas.
Yeah.
I'm extremely sick of Devin. After some stuff we can get into about part 2, which really kind of pissed me
let me
off.
know. I can't
Let's
wait.
get into it. Tell us.
Okay, so a big thing about part 2 was Amber had revealed to the fans and the cast as a whole that she was diagnosed with autism. She was on the spectrum. I don't want to kind of misquote her or anything, but she had presented that she had taken some tests and they had diagnosed her with autism. And this reunion, again, was filmed 2 months ago. And in the last 2 months, like Devin has been going to Twitter, like going to podcasts, ripping Amber apart, like saying like all these like nasty things about how she's fake and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, now we know that this reunion that filmed 2 months ago, she expressed to the cast, like, hey, like part of my like disorder is I have trouble communicating things. And Devin, like this dickhead Devin knows this for the last 2 months and is still like taking to social media and podcasts to rip Amber apart, where it's just like it comes off like, I mean, I don't understand. There shouldn't be sour grapes. Like you won the season.
Yeah.
She nominated herself into elimination. Him and Tori and Anissa are saying, "Oh, just wait till later on in the season. You'll see like how much of a snake Amber is." She did nothing except nominate herself into elimination, and then these three, primarily those three, are acting as if she's doing it with some sort of ulterior motives, and it's just
Even
like
if she is, who cares?
it's yeah, she's like super nice. It's like super disrespectful knowing what they knew that none of us knew until Wednesday. So now just like looking back on everything, it really kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, that
And
they're.
then
Do you think that he could
Tori
be
was
doing
saying,
could be just like still acting the same way just to not to spoil what happens on the reunion? Like could that be one of the reasons why he's still
But
being a
there was
dick?
no point in him. He like went out of his way, I feel, to talk about her to such in depth, especially on like Bananas podcast and things like that. Like he didn't have to go so hard in, you know?
no,
He didn't have to be like, oh, go the other way, but there's a lot that he didn't need to say, I feel. Probably.
yeah. And something Tori did that Tori was talking with Devin and Davon. And again, I don't want to misquote, but Tori had said something along the lines of a lot of the cast members, she didn't say names, of course, but a lot of the cast members don't think Amber is telling the truth about her
That's
diagnostic.
really,
And
really fine lines here.
and then
Like,
yeah, and then Tori said something along the lines of, well, this is her truth. And it's like, no, this is like a medical assessment that she took. She was diagnosed with something. It's not her truth. It's the truth of
her
doctors.
doctor,
And
yeah.
she was saying some things alluding to the fact that this is more of like a personal thing than a medical thing. And it's just like, I mean, like Tori, like you did such a good job this season talking about mental health, like talking about your struggles. When someone else has a medical issue going on,
Disorder.
like it's not really your place to be talking on it. Like you can say like I'm proud of her for speaking up. I'm proud of her for telling the cast and the fans. But like watch like what you're saying because it comes off like very negative, and it's just like the fact that these are the people that are kind of excluding her and that she's feeling excluded by are now like talking out negatively about it. It's just kind of really rubbing me the wrong way.
Yeah, it definitely, like, I understand a little bit before when, like, how Amber wasn't really getting along with people and, like, we didn't really understand what it was and why it was happening. And now to maybe understand that she has a challenging time connecting with people and maybe feeling real because if she, like, she's been diagnosed with autism. And so where did all the compassion go for just like another being that's experiencing life in a different way than you are? I find it very it's kind of sad that they are not willing to even give her any sort of grace here at all. I mean, I'm sure it's because they feel bad that they are being mean to her, and then like they're trying to like kind of backpedal. But like, I don't know. It's it's not really showing them in a good light, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the thing about Devin is like Devin's reality TV started off with him just being like a huge dick to women.
It's true.
Um,
I mean, he was
that was
so
like
bad to
his
Kiki.
Yeah, like him and Kiki on Are You the One? Like that was his storyline. And then he had a stint on the challenge where he was more of a foil to like the Bananas of the world and the Fessies and the Joshes, where he was kind of entertaining because he was standing up to these people. But the last couple seasons, it's like Devin is just joining the like cool kids, and the only people he's picking on are the women on the bottom. And it's like, Devin, you're taking a step back and like, yeah, you won, like good on you. Like you're in better shape. You're a better player than you were 5 years ago. But if you're gonna be like the 22-year-old Devin that's just ripping on women that are on the bottom, it's like nobody wants that. Like you come off looking like a dick. Like no one wants
Yeah.
to see you bullying Amber. No one wants to see you cornering Michelle and putting the whole house against her. Like we get it. You have numbers now, but I'm just waiting for that time where he doesn't have those numbers and someone takes a shot at him. It's going to happen. Like a lot of people are now saying, like Chauncey saying, if I get back in the house, I'm not going to forget the people that like mistreated Amber. Amber saying, I'll be back. And like, I'm not going to forget either. So I like that they're saying these things. Like Veronica stood up, Jack stood up and said the same. Huey, like some people are saying, like, we're not going to like, we're not going to tolerate people being dicks to Amber, who's already struggling. So I do hope that this kind of revolution happens in the next couple seasons. And honestly, like I would love like Chauncey to nominate himself to go into a hall brawl
Chauncey's
against
not going to be
Devin. Like,
invited
let's see it
back though
happen.
without Amber. It's just I don't think it's going to happen. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
can
just
see him being like a an alternate or something. I don't think he's going to be a main choice or focus necessarily, but I could see him being, you know what I mean? We've had other people who've been like backups who you're like, what? More than Chauncey. Like he still did well. He's definitely not like a big pull. He didn't
he's
have a huge
his
storyline on his own,
confessionals
but
weren't it's great. The most interesting thing that happened was him being afraid of
yeah.
heights. I just don't know if he's going to be able to get back on the show without Amber.
Yeah,
Um,
I just honestly, when you were talking about Matthew about like the things Devin has done, it's kind of giving me like immature West circa when he threw the pop bottle on top of Kara. It's like you're kicking someone when they're already the person being ostracized. Like in that moment, I was like, fuck you, West, even though obviously he's one of my, that was like not cute. And over time, he's changed his behavior, I think. And Devin's just like, now that he's got this win, it's almost like he's worse. And it's just, yeah, it's very disappointing. And it's reminding me of the way he talked to Michelle, the way he talked to Amber on the show. And like, I hated those moments. And it's just really
Yeah,
annoying
and
to have a winner like that.
a lot of like a lot of like the Reddit and like Twitter talk about all of this is, and like I hate to bring it up because like this is like a personal thing as well for them, but like the last time we saw Devin and Bananas before this season, like
mhm,
Bananas was essentially making fun of Devin and his father who passed away. Like they got into that heated arguments. Like
mhm.
everyone remembers what happened there. It was very dark on both sides. And like Devin had no problem working with Bananas here. Like, why do you have a problem with Amber? Like, what did Amber do to you that is possibly worse than what Bananas did to you? Or do you just see Bananas as a tool to like get further in the game? Like, this is your ticket onto future seasons, so you're gonna make nice with him. And is Amber just easy pickings for you? Is Michelle easy pickings? And
Yeah.
like you're gonna suck up to Bananas and work with him after he did something like extremely out of line. Where Amber and Michelle, like, yeah, maybe you don't like the way they play, maybe you don't jive with them as people, but they never did anything cruel to you. Like they didn't, they didn't do any, they never nominated you. They didn't do anything at all. And you're fine going after them, but are you going to
I
step
mean,
up
part of
to
it's probably because
Fessy?
she's a woman and he can feel a little bit, he can puff up his chest a little bit and feel like a big man. I think is probably why he's going after these women who he has kind of more power than in this particular configuration. So it's just like a small man kind of syndrome. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? picking on the people that he can, because like the people that he really wants to pick on, he can't. So Lena has a question for you, Matthew. Did you hear on Olivia's podcast, or on the podcast, Olivia talking from the background? She was at Anissa's house hanging out, and Nerys was en route. Is this new Vacation Alliance inductees?
I did hear that. I was not happy about it. Olivia and Nerys were like two of the stars of this season. Obviously, two people, along with Horacio, that I feel were definitely going to get the call back from the rookies. Like those are the three locks. And the fact that two of the three, and I mean, if Olivia is working with the Vacation Alliance, I presume Horacio will be too. If the three of them are going to be joining that alliance, I am not going to be excited about that. I'm hoping. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, Mariah, maybe if she gets a call back, would work against them, but she's not going to have many numbers there. I just don't know. Like if they're gonna, the three strongest rookies, if they're gonna be joining the majority alliance, I don't think it bodes well for any major change unless we're gonna be bringing back Cara, Polly, Corey, like people like that might be willing to make some moves. Wes, but
Kyle.
yeah, I did hear, and I'm not excited.
Oh, I mean, it's just like so annoying. Like, I get it, like being new to the show and like wanting to be invited back and wanting to, get that paycheck every time. But it just really sucks that like the only people that ever were really coming against these people or had the potential to not allow them to do better is like it is now working with them. And so
you also have to keep in mind the allure of the social media and the money and the experiences and the things that you can be a part of nowadays. Whereas back in the day before this, it was like, you're coming back for the season. So it's like, you're coming back. You really haven't seen these people. You don't know really necessarily who's been hanging out all the time. And you're kind of playing a little bit closer to ground zero. Whereas now it's like, there's so many preconceived things and you want to be invited to this and that. And you want to be, it just must seem so alluring to be in like a group with like Anissa.
Absolutely. Like I'd probably want to get in with them as well. But like it just sucks from a viewer's perspective that like they're our hope to change the direction of this game, and they're kind of just falling in line to support another vet win next season. Not that I dislike the vets for winning, but like I would rather, I like seeing when things are going back and forth and it's not just so heavy handed and like it's not so like that the vets are going to do well because there's no opposition. I need opposition. Okay, so a couple other things that happened on the reunion. I thought it was hilarious, in my opinion, Turbo doing his whole video.
That was incredible.
Like, he does have a sense of humor. You know what I mean? Like putting their faces on the trash. He's like Garbage Day Savoro. That was quite funny, Turbo. How much do you think he came up on his own?
Yeah, I don't think most of that was him on his own. Maybe some of the chirps at some of the people, but it made me want to see Turbo back. At first, like the first couple episodes of Turbo this season, he was very much like a loose cannon, and I would probably be scared being in the house with him. But that like video there, and the fact that he is willing to like be a foil, and it's like, hey, like I'll go into elimination against you. Like, yeah, okay, I'll take that. If we can get Turbo actually like having a shots, and it's not an elimination where it's the whole house against Turbo. I mean, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Turbo go in 4 straight eliminations and see what happens. But I don't know. Do you think it's likely that Turbo will be back, or do you think we've seen the last of him?
I think he might be back, just because why would they give him? I think that this segment really put him in a good light, I would say.
Honestly, at this point, put him on All Stars 4 because obviously there's no qualifications for that to be on that season.
I don't know if I want to see what All Stars 4.
I don't either, but like if we're putting Jay on it,
I can't believe that Jay's on it. Like I cannot believe. What else happened? Okay, so what about the fight between Anissa and Mariah?
What?
So Mariah basically said that Anissa like wasn't nice to her when she wasn't a good friend to her, and Anissa's like pops back like, I'm nice to everybody. I'm like the nicest person here. Blah blah blah, and so they had a little bit of a back and forth there.
Yeah,
Thoughts, Matthew? Since you
Anissa's so full
eventually
of
see it.
shit.
Yeah.
Anissa's like, so Anissa says, I'm nice to everyone, and then right after she says that, she's like, and I've done the show for 20 years, and I only have one real friend from it. And it's
Yeah,
like,
it's like
hey,
because you're not nice
Anissa,
to
if you're
everybody.
nice to everyone, why do you only have one friend from the last 20 years? And and then like Chauncey later in the reunion did echo the same thing Mariah did and said, hey, like some people were not really like nice to myself and Amber. And Maria said, well, who? And she's like, well, honestly, like mainly Anissa. And Anissa just like acts all shocked. And it's like, wait, Anissa, I thought you're nice to everyone, but now we have three different people that say that you were not nice to them. And we've seen in the past, like Amber M and like Big T who felt targeted by Anissa and Tori. So it's like, hey, it's okay. Like you don't have to be nice to everyone, but don't pretend that you are. Because
Right.
I mean, we're watching the show.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit delusional. I mean, I understand like not um necessarily liking everybody, or not like she was saying that like, hey, me and you, Mariah, we don't have anything in common, so like that's why we don't really talk or hang out. I get that, but like I think that she also is probably a little bit of a, I've been on this challenge for 20 years, like kiss my butt type thing. We did also hear in the past that Tori also was giving a little bit of attitude to new people. I think Amber M was saying that she wasn't super nice. And if I think Anissa was still on that season. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were coming in as two mean girls and then like we own the challenge. We are the challenge official podcast. Like we don't need to talk to you. You guys need to talk to us. You know, I think that they probably have that attitude. Probably. Anything else about the reunion?
No, I mean the big thing was the turbo video was awesome. Yeah, and then all that really happened in part two. There was the Amber Mariah situation with Anissa, and yeah, honestly, that was it. Like Devin didn't really have much. The rest of it was like Jordan and Tori. I mean, we've talked that through the last 3 months. Like, there's no need to get into it. They seem
Yeah.
to be on good
Okay.
terms.
One thing I do want to say, and like I don't really want to always say something about people's appearance, but what did Nani do? I'm worried now because like she's starting to not look like herself anymore, and she kind of to me is looking like a caricature of like who she used to look like, and I'm like when I see people doing too much to their face, I get worried that something more is going on the inside that they're trying to fix like externally. But I don't think that Anani looked very good. I'm kind of worried for her.
Yeah, I mean, she used to just have be a little more, I don't know, full bodied perhaps, and also the veneers obviously and stuff like
But I think
that.
she even got new veneers and lips done, and like it's
And then also makeup, the style of makeup changed a lot as well. Because I think even with Mariah and people, depending on the face they give, it also can enhance whatever I'm sure she's done in a way that's like extra too much. So I think it's maybe a combination. Maybe sometimes certain things look better in person but look worse on cameras. I don't know,
it doesn't.
but
It
they've
just looks
seemed a
off.
bit off for a while, in my opinion.
But even more so in the reunion, I was just kind of like, ugh, like, oh my gosh, like Nani, where are you? Like, she doesn't look like herself anymore at all. I hope that she's okay though, just because like
Does she say anything about her loss? Like, was there anything?
yeah, there was a pretty big segment about her mom and like, Casey, how she was there for her for some times, like getting her out of bed and stuff like that. It was quite a long segment, I would say, in part one, about her mom and just like what she's been going through. Matt, did you have anything to add about that?
Yeah, there was a little bit in part two as well where
Oh, with Michelle.
Nani had kind of there was a bit about Michelle, and Nani said like Michelle had gone through like a similar like family experience. Um and they had bonded over that like prior to the show and on the show. So Nani apologized for how she threw in Michelle and kind of blindsided her there. And she said that like it was not the right thing to do, and that like they had bonded on something bigger than the game. So yeah, kind of touched a little bit more on it in part two. So that was kind of a nice moment from Nani and Michelle there. Um, but yeah, that was really it on the Nani stuff. The one other thing I'd say about the reunion was I thought Nerys was like a huge star of both parts of the reunion
Okay,
there.
sorry. It was really awkward when she says like, so Nerys says something like, yeah, my pussy drips gold. And then Raven's like, yeah, my pussy drips blonde, whatever. I was like, bronze. And I was like, what? Like,
She didn't know bronze was worse than gold. So yeah, that was a funny moment. It was just hilarious because I feel like Raven was like playing the role of like the person that was like so desperate to like get back on the show. Like she knows like she was out early, so she tried to like make a name for herself at the reunion,
mhm.
and she was kind of going after Nerys. And every time she went after Nerys, Nerys just silenced her immediately. Like she didn't even have to think about it. She had a response ready for everything. Like Raven was trying to say like, well, you like slept around with 3 different guys, and Nerys is like, so I don't care. Like I'm single. Like I'll do whatever the fuck I want. And everyone was like clapping up Nerys, and Raven was just silenced every time. And it's like, all right, well, you know what, Raven, I'm sorry. Like you're probably not coming back, and like Nerys, like you're definitely coming back. So kudos to you for like silencing her again. And yeah, we'll be seeing Nerys for sure on the
Oh,
next season. I'd be absolutely shocked if we weren't.
the other thing I want to ask you guys about is they showed a preview of them asking about the Laurel and Jordan hookup. So what was like said
Ooh, I didn't see that.
there?
Yeah, so they basically just said like, have you and Laurel hooked up in the last year?
Mhm.
And Jordan said, no, we haven't. And then Laurel said like, you know what, like I want to like I'll tell like the whole story if that's okay with Jordan. Jordan said that's fine. And Laurel said that shortly after Tori and Jordan broke up a couple of years ago, Laurel had reached out to Jordan because she was visiting wherever Jordan lives, I think maybe Texas. But they ended up hanging out, and they had hooked up a couple times while she was there. And this was like a year and a half or 2 years ago. Um, and it was just like, I don't know, over a week or something. And then nothing happened prior to them being on the show together. And they're just friends now. But they basically just said like a couple years ago they had hooked up a few times. Nothing
And
like
also, like
major
they
there.
dated in the past anyway, so it's
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Laurel just said like I would not do anything like on the show, and like I would speak to Tori first if like anything were to ever happen, but like I don't think of Jordan like that. We're just friends. And then Tori said like, yeah, we're good, like no worries, like no bad blood, like we're all friends here. And it was all like kind of buddy buddy.
Huh. Okay, well, unless there's anything else from the reunions, we can get into the draft. Now, do I remember? I guess we should start a new one, right? Like we haven't drafted for this kind of franchise altogether, correct?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we did the US, but
We did
obviously a
US,
different
yeah.
Who
format.
won? Do we remember who won the US? Did you win, Matthew?
Oh, I no, well, I won 38, so
I
I
won
believe
because I had
wait, I thought I
Danny.
won.
Wait, no,
No,
you
no,
won.
38.
You won
38, but
38.
no,
The
but
Challenge
USA.
USA. Did I not win? Because I had Danny? Or did you win,
I don't know.
Chantele?
I thought we were doing the draft order based off 38.
We are doing it based off 38.
Okay, if it's based
Okay.
off 38.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sure. I just
That
was
was the
double
most recent.
checking what we wanted to do here. Okay, so
Because I already
in that-
put the order for the last draft.
gotcha. Okay, so are we going to use a sabotage into this one? Matthew, you've seen what the sabotage does. So basically, after a couple of rounds of like male-female picks, we can choose a person that we do not want to have on our team and a person that we'd want to give to the other person. So a male and female of not of your choice to be received by one of us.
Oh.
We in?
I'm not opposed. Just tell me when to do
Okay,
it,
when it
what to
happens?
do.
Sure. Perfect.
Sure.
Right.
So are
I
we
don't know.
drafting? I don't know. So we're just gonna draft like, are we gonna do male, female, or we can just take someone of either gender?
I would do male female just because they're going to be partnered male female. So, like, I think it'll be easier that way to be even once we find out what the pairs are and stuff like that. I don't know. I just think it makes it even for sure. Where are those notes of mine now? Okay, great. All right. Well, then, Matthew, since you are the reigning champion, will you choose the order? Now, whoever you choose to go first will get to decide who is choosing male and female, or female first. So choose wisely. We'll be doing a snake draw as usual. So the person in third place will also get the fourth pick, which would be the first of the opposite sex of how the first round starts.
Okay, so if I choose to go, whoever I choose to go first picks male or female.
Correct.
Okay, so in that case, I'll pick myself to go first.
Okay.
Chantele, I will put you second, and Michelle, you can go with the swing pick at 3.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, 3 is kind of the best spot in these cases, but let's see.
Yeah, I was gonna put myself 3, but I wanted to choose the gender that we go with first. So I'm like, okay, in that case, I'll go first.
I kind of know I have a feeling what you're gonna do, but let's go. Let's hear it. Who's your first pick?
Yeah, so I think we should start with the male side.
I already have it.
And yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with a friend of the show, Danny McRae. I think
I had it I had it all ready to go because I knew who you were gonna pick. Hold on. Wait, I had it there. It should have been at him. Oh, it's moving. There we go.
Yeah, with Danny, it's I don't know if he's necessarily set up the best because there is like a kind of pre-made alliance here that is very strong in numbers. But fact of the matter is, like, he's going to get a strong partner. There's a lot of strong females here. The fact that the USA people probably know most of the MTV people, at least a little bit. I'm sure Danny has had conversations with a number of people on the MTV side. So I think he's a little bit better set up than some of the international players. And I mean, fact of the matter is, like, he's a beast. Like, if he gets into anything physical, he'll do well. I don't see many people wanting to take shots at him. And yeah, with the right partner, like, he could really kind of coast quite far here. Plus, I mean, I love the guy, super nice, and he might listen to this show, and I want him to know that he was the first pick.
Yes, he was the first pick, my first draft pick as well. Yes, I think that he will listen in and be very grateful that he is the first male pick taken off the board. I think that he's going to do a really good job this season. I think that he kind of got his feet wet a little bit with USA, and I think that he's going to kind of understand a little bit more about how the game works. And I think that he's just going to be even better than he was before because everybody that's been on, we know has played a season at least before. We know the people that are new to the world are all winners or close to, or finalists at least. And so, yeah, I look forward to see how he navigates this new season and hopefully becomes one of the staples now in the challenge spectrum. So good pick. Very jealous. I had a feeling you were going to choose him. Absolutely. All right. So who am I going to choose for my first pick? Oh, man. I think I'm going to have to break Michelle's heart here. Because I have to go with Wes. I'm sorry, Michelle. I had to take him off the board. Wes is fantastic. Obviously, he is, a 3-time winner. He knows how to play the game. He's somebody that would scoop up Danny and get Danny in to be part of his group. And I think he's going to be kind of banding together, probably against Bananas. I wouldn't be surprised unless they decide to work together because they're supposed to be friends now. But like, I just feel like I want to be on Wes's side here. He's also a reigning champion from All Stars 3. Maybe he has a good bond with Jonna. Who knows? I think he's coming with numbers this season. And you know that he can back it up with doing well. So I'm sorry, Michelle, but I had to take Wes from you. Any thoughts?
Okay, I mean, I'll be okay. I didn't make a preconceived list this time. And I obviously he would always be my first pick, but There's a lot of good players this season and then a lot of unknowns for me. So I kind of just have to go with it and start building a team of people that I like, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Sorry, Dabu saying they saw Jordan at Danny's house on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Oh.
I saw that.
Okay, that's good. That means that he's made some friends. So that's great. Great to know. All right, Michelle, who is your first male pick?
It's a tough decision because I think I want to pick someone like well-connected, or do I just go with pure like ability? There's definitely a couple people on my radar. Oh, it's tough. Okay, I think for my guy, I'm gonna have to go with Jordan. I'm gonna go with Jordan.
Of course.
I mean, it's an easy decision in that way. He's obviously a strong competitor. We know from 38 is connected to Bananas. He's fine enough with Wes, although they don't, they're obviously gonna go at each other, but they don't hate and despise each other. I think he'll be a good match anger-wise for someone like Ben. I don't know. I see him being able to get through pretty far. So we'll see what happens. If he makes it to the end, we know he has a great shot of winning if he's not with Anissa. So that's going to be my guy.
There's a caveat if he's not with Anissa. Yes, I do think that Jordan can do really well. Obviously, he's a first round draft pick in any situation, pretty much. And every single woman, like I'd say 95% of the women that are on this season are all people that could win a final with him. So if he gets there, I think that he could win with pretty much anyone. I can't think of right off the top of my head someone that he couldn't win with. So definitely a great pick, of course.
And then
no one here is going to be able to prevent Jordan from winning. It's going to be a matter of getting there. And then like the issue just is like, hey, I mean, if it's not going to, there's no layups in eliminations either. Not that like Jordan can't beat anyone in an elimination, but it is a very physical cast. So if Jordan does wind up in, which honestly, like, don't know how many times he'll wind up in, because I do think he'll be part of that big majority alliance. But yeah, I mean, if he ends up in a pole wrestle, I mean, which I imagine they're going to do a lot of like challenges like that for the global, a lot of the staples could be in a bit of an issue there. But
definitely.
No, I mean, if Jordan gets to the end, like, no one here is preventing him from winning. None of the women on the cast. So he's set up very nicely, I think.
All right. For my first female pick, again, it's a tough call for me. I think that there's a lot of strong women. Some people that I just don't like, so I don't want them. Some people I have big question marks on. I'm trying to decide. So I think what I'm going to do for my first pick, just because I want this person on my team, I think they're strong. I think they're pretty good at laying low. And unless something goes catastrophically wrong, I see them being good for a while, and I see them being a pretty good partner no matter who they're with. So I have extreme confidence in this person.
Okay,
so
I'm going to see if I'm going to guess right. Should I see if I guess right?
Well, you want to say it or
is it Jody? Oh,
nope.
Okay, surprising. Okay, go.
I'm going with Jody.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that makes sense too.
I think Jody is stronger than Jonay. I think Jonay is better connected than Jody, and Jonay will be in less trouble than Jody. So it's a tough call. But I just think that ultimately Jody can really hold her own in a variety of competition settings. Jonay's very smart, and I wish I could have them both. I know I can't. So I'm picking Jody. Number one pick.
I mean, of course, Jody is a really strong pick. She's an amazing competitor. And like we even saw when she came back, she still got it. She still got the fierce competitor within her. She doesn't have the alliances though, and she never really wants to get involved in those alliances. So I'm just not sure how well she will do for those reasons. Like, I don't know if she's going to be friends with some of the people that she was with on All Stars 2.
But like, there's no way that Wes is not going to want to use her. You know what I mean? As part of his like side,
Numbers.
like, and same with someone like Bananas. Like, she has worked with him in the past, and yeah, she's not a huge alliance person, but I just think that like she's someone to have with the like US people who are working together. She's going to be a key player. They're going to need her, I think, in my opinion, depending on how things shake out. But this could be a mistake, but I'm going with it.
Hey man, no, definitely Jody. Jody is always top tier draft pick for sure, for sure. Oh shoot, it's me next. Okay. I think I'm gonna stick with who I put on the screen for you, and I'm gonna go with Janae because the fact that she did it twice in a row. And she's just going to stick around for a long time. So she's going to get me points in the long run. I feel like she always makes it to finals nowadays. And I can see her doing the same here. She's going to make friends with the people that are new. She's likable and she's capable. And so I think that she can get to the end again at least and get me some points along the way. So I'm going to go with Janae.
Good pick. Classic pick.
Any thoughts, Matthew?
Okay, so here is what I am worried about. For both Janae and Jody. And honestly, I would have definitely taken one of them if they were there because I want them to win so badly. My worry is going back to kind of what I was saying in the reunion about Bananas and how he was kind of like trashing Veronica. And like Bananas is now like working with like the like cool kids, like Majority Alliance. Not that Janae and Jody are not cool, but because in my opinion, like I would way rather hang out with them than Casey and Tori. My concern is I don't think Bananas is and Jordan are gonna want to be working with that side of the house. I think they're gonna get tight with they're gonna stay tight with the Casey Tori side of things. And I just don't know, and Naya is gonna be included because of Jordan. So I do have a worry about some of these all-star people just not fitting in
You don't
or not
think
having
that
the
Wes
numbers.
and Janae will be able to kind of, because they ran the whole game?
They're going to work together. Janae is so smart politically. Like, she knows what to do. I do have confidence in her ability to evade elimination.
I think Bananas is intimidated by strong women
Yeah.
that think for themselves.
Yes.
And
yes.
Ori and Casey are not necessarily like free. They're not thinking for themselves. Like, no offense to them, they're not really thinking for themselves. They're thinking like team mentality. And I think Bananas will be threatened by John A specifically. Again, that said, I would have taken her just because I want her to do well. And the people that I do think will do well, being Casey and Tori, I will absolutely not be taking. So I'm not going to take either of them here. I, gosh, I'm going to go to the international side of things. I just watched the UK version today. I binged it. Both of the women on the UK side very much impressed me. Kaz and Zara, I believe Zara, that's how you pronounce it?
I believe so.
So they were separated by 1 minute in the finals. Spoiler alert if anyone didn't watch, but they were separated by 1 minute. Both did very well. Kaz, I believe, won every single daily throughout the whole season, maybe except for one. She won a lot of dailies, and then she won most of the legs of the finals as well. So I'm gonna go with Kaz here. She's a boxer, I believe, and I think she's connected to some of the UK people that have been on the challenge proper. I don't. Was she on Love Island?
She was on Love Island. She was also on Celebrity X on the Beach. Her ex is Theo. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some drama that happens there. Yeah, I think Kaz is also obviously like a fantastic choice. My only worry is that she is not good at puzzles at all. She had trouble reading the instructions to the puzzles. And so that worries me just for the fact that like there's a lot of puzzles usually in the show, in the season. So I think that she's a very strong physical competitor, absolutely. But I don't know how strong her mind is for some of these puzzles. So that was one of my worry with her,
Um,
but she's super strong.
yeah, that was my concern as well. So, I mean, if she ends up partnered with, say, a Nelson, like I could be in big trouble there. Um, if she ends up partners with a Wes or Yes, Jordan, Theo, I actually don't know how Theo is with puzzles, but if she's with Wes or Yes or Jordan, I think she, I think they'd be so dominant there. Yeah, so she's a boxer or MMA fighter, I believe. The fact that she's kind of connected to the challenge universe before this,
Mm-hmm.
I think it also was a bit of a turn on there for me in terms of picking her. Just like it's not going to be new to her. These people aren't going to be complete strangers. I'm sure Theo has given her the rundown on most of them. So yeah, super excited about her. Um, and then for my next male pick,
Mm-hmm.
I will actually take Theo. Really excited to see him back, and
So excited.
I mean the fact, yeah, really like it's been a shame we haven't seen him the last few years. I'm glad to see he's medically cleared, and yeah, the fact that he knows Kaz as well could be beneficial just in terms of opening up the alliance. If I
They're
don't know
not
if
in good
they're on good
terms, but
terms.
you know.
Okay. Yeah.
um,
Well, hopefully a friendly face or a familiar face at least is helpful. But yeah, just super happy to see him back and someone I want to be rooting for. So we'll go with Theo there.
It's a great pick. Great pick to have Theo back in the game. Yeah, we've been wanting Theo to come back for a really long time, and it's great that he finally is. Like he's been tweeting and being like, "I want to be back. I want to come back." And so I'm really happy that he is getting this chance here. He's definitely would have been the next draft pick, I'm sure, from any one of us. So Theo is great. Any other thoughts about Theo, Michelle?
I love Theo. I wanted him on my team.
I know.
I almost picked him instead of Jordan. Love Theo. I'm so happy he's finally back. My worry with him is, yeah, just connections wise. What I love about him is also what's scary, which is that he's not afraid to stand up to things and he's not afraid to take a stance. That's why I love him, but that's what freaks me out about he might get thrown in a lot. And he's quite good at eliminations, but you can only win so many times. So that's my only worry with him is that he's not going to have the best relationships. But I can't wait to see him.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm debating. I think I have to just go with what works. And if I can't really rely on him to win necessarily, but that he's going to be in this season for a long time because he is a producer pet. They want him on the show for as long as possible. So give me some points, Johnny Bananas. Obviously, like I don't know if he's going to win this season, but I know he's going to be around for a long time. So I want some points from you, Bananas. I do think he can be a really good partner. He has a lot of great women to choose from, like to work with, and so having a great partner will. I think he could do pretty well, and like he's pretty well insulated. He knows a lot of people on this season, so I think he's going to be set up to go deep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's a classic. I don't want him on my team, but I understand why you would, and that he is great. He's going to be around for a while, regardless of whether he wins or not.
Yes, Bananas. We have to. We have to. We have to.
Yeah, I think with
Any last
Bananas,
thoughts?
like, yeah, I think Bananas, like you said, like I think he'll be around for a bit. Like the producers are gonna want him there. And I think the format of the season actually is pretty good for Bananas because if it was separate, where it was, say, the USA or sorry, the MTV people versus the worlds, I think Bananas would be someone that gets targeted pretty quickly as like the international side would want to put like the trophy in the case, and that being Bananas is the biggest one. But the fact
Fair.
that it's going to be MTV people paired with the rookies, um, I think that helps Bananas a little bit because he will have that added protection, whether it's from Tori, Jordan, Wes. Casey. All of these people are going to be partnered with rookies that would otherwise be potentially going after him. And at this point, it's like, who is going to go after him? Like, yeah, Theo might. Maybe like a Kellyanne might, but is Kellyanne going to be winning power that often? Like, I don't see it. I see Kellyanne being someone that's probably targeted pretty early.
Right.
Um, so I just think there's very minimal vets that would be actually targeting Bananas early. So yeah, I think the format is good for him, at least for the first few weeks. And then we'll see how eliminations work. I mean, I hope it's just kind of like more of a straight up vote rather than like daggers or anything like that. Have you heard anything about how eliminations will work?
I
No.
feel like
Yeah.
for the fact that all the international seasons, whoever sucked went directly into elimination. So hopefully keeping with that same format for the global, since like that would be what they would be most familiar with. So I hope that that's the case. And then whoever wins has the power to who they're putting in against them. Seems the most
I
basic.
hope that's it.
Seems I like it. It's fine by
That
me.
works.
Just don't suck.
Yeah. So I if that's the case, then I think oh, thank you. I think Bananas will be pretty good at not coming in last. Like he knows what he has to do
Exactly.
to not come in last, and he has
Yeah.
people that will help as well. So yeah, I think we'll get like at least half a season of Bananas here. And if he gets to the finals, again, he's someone that's very scary as well.
Absolutely. So Carly's Red is saying, I have never caught the three of you on a live before, and I'll have to restart at the beginning now. Just wanted to say you three crack me up together, and I always look forward to the trio's thoughts. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, even though now you're in the past a little bit. A little bit. But okay, so Michelle, which male pick do you have now?
Is it not your turn?
I did Bananas.
Oh, right, you just did bananas. Sorry, I had a moment. I was sorry. Okay, yes. I'm making a weird decision for me right now, just because I don't want to get stuck in a situation
Where you don't know people.
where no, opposite of that, where I am. Anyways, doesn't matter. My reasoning doesn't need to make sense to anybody except for me. So for my guy pick, I'm gonna go with, as someone who didn't watch UK, only watched like 2 episodes of Australia. I really don't know these people. I'm going off of the information that I can find, or just looking at their picture and making a judgment. So for guy, I am gonna go with Troy, who's the winner of the Challenge Australia. That's him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Looks different in the photo that I looked at. Anyways, he won. I don't know what their final was like, but if he's able to win, that tells me that he's got a good plethora of skills. Hopefully, he seems strong enough. And my hope, or maybe a version of strategy, could be, depending on like who's partnered with who from MTV, it's like, okay, well, if they're a winner, like I want to use them if I need them as a partner for the final. Like maybe there's some goodness. There could be some badness. There could be some, let's get rid of all the Australian and UK winners. That could also be a thing. But he seems like a pretty strong, solid person. And I want to have some strong people on my non-American side of my team. So I'm going to go with him.
Definitely he was who was debating between him or Bananas, because he is really strong. Well, my only worry about with him is that he's not the tallest, and so I would think that some people might think that he could be weaker, or like a little bit more of a layup, and throw him down potentially often because they think that they can beat him. But he holds his own. Like he was a person that was like bloody down in the sand, winning eliminations. He definitely will not give up. He will keep fighting. And I forget what is he an Olympic wrestler? Like what was his skill again, Matthew?
Yeah, I can't remember what his background was, but no, I love this pick as well. I think Troy is like a Derek K, but with more of a brain. No offense, Derek, but he's like a smarter version of Derek. Where
He
like
was on Ninja Warrior, Australian Ninja Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So
Okay,
he's like
I love
very athletic. He won a ton of dailies, if I recall. Yeah, 4 dailies. He's like, his endurance is great. He doesn't give up in eliminations. And like, yeah, if you get him in a hall brawl, like he might be screwed. And that's like I see him doing really well. Very nice guy too. I think he'll fit in and he'll be able to like suck up to some of the vets. So I really like this pick and definitely would have been my next guy off the board.
Yeah, me too. Well, so I was debating with him between him and Bananas, like I said, and the reason why I went Bananas is just because we know that he's going to go deep. It's a little bit more of a wild card with Troy, but he's very strong, very strong pick. Okay, so this is going to be the last round, and then the next round is going to be sabotages, and I think we should maybe
Do I not pick a female then, or no?
No, you're going to pick a female, but this is going to be the last round, and then after that, we're going to do sabotage round.
Okay.
So, who's your lady?
Okay, this is another tough call. I feel it's crazy that I'm like I haven't picked certain people yet and whatnot. There's a lot of good options, but again, I'm concerned about having enough strength. And it's really hard without knowing the dynamics of the other seasons. This is why you guys should do your homework. Don't be like me. Going on the challenge, do your homework. Know everybody. But again, I'm sticking with my rule of trying not to pick people that I just don't like. I'm like, I don't want you on my team. I don't care. I'm just going to stay strong with that for now until I get sabotaged. Okay. I think I'm going to go with Kiki, who is the winner of Challenge Australia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm picking Kiki because I remember you guys saying how much you liked her, or at least Chantele did. So I know she's likable. If she won, that's got to be a good thing. She seems gorgeous. Hopefully she'll distract people with her beauty, and hopefully she does really well and has good relationships. I don't know if she does, but I'm just taking it because she won.
I mean, I think Kika's a great pick. What my one worry about Kiki is that she was complaining about back stuff on her season, and so, but she's still able to go and win and run the final and win. So it's not to say that it held her back at all, but no pun intended. But it could. Maybe it will come into play again. Who knows? So that's my only worry with Kiki. But other than that, like, she was definitely decent politically, and she was somebody that never gave up. She was just like a strong competitor that kept going. So I think that she could definitely do very well. And I think if she's single, I mean, I think that, maybe Bananas is going to want to saddle up next to her. You never know. So yeah, I think she's a great pick. You got her at a good position.
I love Kiki so much. She's very fun. I am a bit worried for her this season just because on the Australian season, she had like such a huge Bachelor alliance where there was just a ton of Bachelor people put on the cast, so she had like a fairly easy ride. But yeah, she is very fun. I just worry how she'll play from the bottom rather than playing from the top the whole time. It's gonna be an adjustment for her. But again, I mean, we don't know who her partner is, so she can hold her own. And I do have some worries, but I would have loved to have her on my team because she's just so fun and yeah, like very, very good.
Just picture, woo! This is not the picture that I was looking at. It's intense. Love it.
Yeah, she's awesome though.
Man, who am I gonna do next though?
So wait, are we gonna do girl, and then sabotage?
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, who am I gonna do here? I think. Should I do it, guys? Should I do it? I don't know. I don't know if I can.
In my opinion, like the three most likely to win are still available.
Really?
In my opinion, at least. And it's just like, I feel like we just don't want to take them. But I think
okay, I'm
some
take
pretty
one
good
that's
win
most
equity
likely to
here.
win. Pardon me?
There's strong win equity left. I just don't want them on my team.
Well, I don't even know if this is the person you're talking about, but I'm just going to take them because I'm supporting Danny. I'm going to take Sarah because you know that they're going to be working together, and if I want Danny to do well, then Sarah is probably going to be part of that equation. And so, hoping that, the side of Sarah that we never get to see, that everybody talks about. Like, she's so nice, she's so nice, she's so nice. Like, maybe that's going to come into play. Like, maybe she's going to, you know, learn what she from the mistakes that she had her previous season, and kind of insulate herself a little bit better in this new version. I do think that Bananas likes people that are stars. And so the fact that she's been on CBS Survivor, I think that's like kind of like a big deal to him. I don't know if he's going to bother with the, you know, Australia or even the UK or the Argentina people. Like, I think that he would want to get in with the Survivor, the CBS people, especially since we're hearing that he is going to be on USA 2. So I just feel like he's going to work with Survivor people over the international stars. And I think that Sarah and Danny are going to be people that he's going to want to work with. So I'm taking Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah is one of the ones for me. I think she's just set up so well, similar to Danny, where these MTV people know who she is, which is already such a leg up on so much of the rest of the cast. And Sarah is actually a big fan of the challenge, which I didn't know until recently. I think Sarah it's the type of person where if they get to choose their partners, the MTV people are all going to want Sarah. Sarah will have her pick of whoever the best MTV person is if she gets to choose. Obviously, she's extremely like physically strong. Um, my worry is actually something that you mentioned about Bananas, where Bananas got very buddy buddy with Tyson over the last year or so, where they were on each other's podcasts multiple times, and I worry that maybe Tyson told Bananas, "Don't work with Sarah, don't work with Sarah and Ben specifically."
Maybe.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think that will fully like turn Bananas off from having the opportunity to be working with her. But I don't know. I wonder if maybe there is a bit of hesitancy there. But I think Sarah is very well set up here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he said that, but I think also Banana will make his own decisions in the moment. Like, he's going to make the winning decision as opposed to, like, you know, fight Tyson's battle decisions. But I think he will know, though, that Sarah, like, the negative traits that Tyson might share about her, I think he'll keep that in the back of his mind, though. Thank you for the super sticker, Lena. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Any other thoughts, Michelle, about Sarah before we move on?
No.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Matthew, your last girl pick before we do a round of sabotage.
So my last pick for the women, I picked Kaz because she won by 1 minute over Zara. So I'm going to take Zara now and see if maybe she can reverse the curse and maybe she'll win by 1 minute over Kaz. They're pretty straightforward. I'm not wanting to take Tori or Casey, so I will take my friend Zara.
Yeah, I mean, Zara is great. She's really petite, so kind of like an Amber B build, like thin and lean and very like athletic, like can run for days type deal. I mean, the only reason why I wouldn't necessarily pick her is just because she doesn't have that many friends in the game, but she can definitely hold her own. And she was everybody wanted to be her partner in the UK version. So I think that will be the same here, as that people are going to want to work with her. And so she's probably going to get a good partner. I'm assuming that they're going to be changing up partners. Is that how the deal is?
I'm sure. There's no way they're going to keep with the same person. Like,
yeah, I guess the algorithm might come back.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope it's not the algorithm, but all of the international versions use the algorithm, I believe. I really hope that's not the case, but I wouldn't mind if it's like, hey, win an elimination and then you can change your partner if you want to change your partner. But yeah, we'll see how these starting partners work. I think that'll be, if it's like a draft, that would be cool. Although
it seems like
it
it's similar to which one was it? Where they basically like you kind of compete to pick the order, and then like you watch the other, like the rookies compete to see like who you wanted to pick. And so then the vets got to choose an order of how well they did on their heat, and then they got to decide between the newbies, but in this case the international winners, I guess. I guess. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I think that's what they did in War of the Worlds 1,
That's
I
what it was.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. 1 second. Sorry. Okay, so for this round, Matthew, you will pick a male for me. I'll pick a male for Michelle. Michelle will pick a male for you, Matthew, and then we'll reverse it. So then Michelle will pick a female for me. I will. Should Matthew's turn? Oh, well, anyways, I will pick a female for Matthew. Matthew will pick a female for Michelle. Does that work for everybody?
Sure.
That
Seems fair.
works.
Seems fair.
Can I see the headshots of the two men from Argentina and their names? I just don't even know what they look like. I'm sorry. That's the one I did not watch.
Yes.
And do we know who the winner is from Argentina yet?
I think it's this guy. Rodri, and because Benjamin, he was eliminated from the game, so he definitely didn't win. So I would assume then it's the other guy that won. This guy.
Okay.
And then I don't remember who, like, because it's the winner hasn't been done yet. So this woman's name is Sophia or Hui. I don't remember who wins though. And then Claudia, obviously.
I think I heard who he was already eliminated.
Okay,
I
so
believe.
then Claudia wins.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to
Male.
give you either of those men. I'm gonna give you Grant. I think Grant's, from what I remember from the Australian version, he had a bit of a temper to him. Like he did not handle being voted in very well. I could see him just like not getting along with some of these bigger personalities, and I could see him being someone that's targeted pretty early by like a Wes and Bananas. I don't think he's going to be the type of person that will be easily picked up by Wes and Bananas. I think he's going to want to kind of play his own game, and it might backfire on him. Um, he is physically fit, so I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he won an elimination or two, but I definitely see him going into eliminations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that it's a good pick for a sabotage. For the fact that yes, he is physically fit, but he does get kind of emotional and a little bit whiny about situations not going his way, and so I can see him kind of be picked on because he's not going to have that many numbers. Obviously, he'll have the people from his season, but like he wasn't really working with Troy or Kiki. He was working with Emily, so he just might not be in a good position depending on who his partner is. So yeah, it's a good sabotage. So for me, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to sabotage. Don't hate me, chat, but I think I'm going to sabotage Michelle with Nelson.
Aww.
Wow. Okay.
Now, Nelson, obviously, Scuba Nelly, we want him to do well. Like, it's kind of his time. But he just doesn't seem to be able to figure out and get it. And I don't know if he's going to have a partner like Nerys that's going to be really good for him to get some of these daily wins. He hadn't won but in 55 dailies, like, he hadn't won anything. Obviously, hasn't won a season ever. He's gotten to the final a couple of times, but like he's never been able to get that win, and he doesn't really know how to get himself in a better position. So I just see him doing his usual thing, being a number for the major alliance, and then being discarded of whatever they don't need him anymore. So yeah, he sucks at puzzles as well. Yeah, his puzzle ability is not good. All he can really do is run, and I just think that he has a lot more competitors that are going to do better than him this season. So sorry, but Nelson is your sabotage.
That's fair.
Yeah, I just think Nelson here, like I love Nelson. He just like sticks out like a sore thumb. It's he's like the one person here that doesn't really belong, in my opinion. And a lot of these like rookies coming into it are probably gonna be not wanting him as their partner because he's not good at these things like puzzles, where it's not going to be a race every single daily. And the issue for Nelson is normally Nelson goes like decently far because the casts are so much larger. And then once the majority is forced to pick each other off, he ends up being the fall guy. But now, I mean, there's only 12 pairs, right? There's only going to be 12 teams. So it's going to happen a lot earlier where they have to go after their own. And I do worry Nelson is going to kind of really like suffer from that, where he's not going to be able to thrive halfway through like he normally does.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a good sabotage. As much as I would love to see him win, I just don't see it happening here.
Not this season. All right, Michelle, who are you choosing for Matthew's sabotage?
I think I'm going to give you. Let me just double check one thing. Oh, okay. All right. For you, I'm not going to be as cruel as Chantele. I think I'm going to give Matthew somebody who, to be honest, it could be a sabotage or it could be a plus. I don't know. I'm making this decision based solely on one factor at this point, and that factor is that I don't know how well connected they will be, and also they're not super huge. So I'm giving you Benjamin from Argentina.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me the other Ben. I was so nervous.
No. I was going to, but I'm not going to do that to you because, and I just feel like this guy could do well or just be forgotten and get eliminated. And I know he seems good and everything, but I looked up actual pictures and he's not that tall. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this guy. When you said Benjamin, my heart sank. I'm like, do I have to cheer for Ben this season? My least favorite Survivor winner ever. I got to cheer for this guy.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know who this guy is. He's got nice hair.
He's got nice hair.
Hope for the best.
I wanted to give you someone who could be medium, could go either way, but not necessarily is going to have the best connections because there's only so many Argentina people.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like that can only take you so far. Maybe he's really social. Maybe he will be able to get things going, and I could be wrong, but I don't want to take that risk for myself. So
fair.
You can take that.
Yeah, risk. My big worry for the Argentina cast is English not being their first language.
I think they chose the people, like obviously the winners, but then the other two, him and I guess Hui, because they spoke English the best, I think is why they got pulled in, because they weren't finalists like everybody else.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear, because that was my initial concern. It's like, hey, like the UK and Australian people might be able to integrate a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, if his English is solid, then let's hope for the best here.
Yeah, I mean, on the Argentina season, definitely a lot of the cast was like over 45. So like it was definitely, his partner was somebody that was a little bit older and not as, agile and fit, we'll say. And so he didn't win his elimination, but okay, so now Michelle, you're going to choose a female for me.
Oh, interesting. Got so many options here. So many great options. It's kind of a tough decision because I could sabotage you in a multitude of ways, probably. But I think what I'm going to do, for the sake of the fact that we have to include fight points, we have to include all these points because I've lost by having the winner. Or you remember? So that can't be everything. I'm gonna go to give Chantele. I'm gonna give Chantele I'm going to go with Sofia from Argentina, or Huhu. Just because, once again, she does not have the connections. She's not a finalist. Maybe she'll have a showman, so maybe you'll get some greatness. But it's just a risk. I'd rather have people that I know than people that I don't know if it could be a disaster. So.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take a risk with Sophia because she's gorgeous. You never know if she's gonna be pulled in by bananas for a number. So I'm happy to have her, and with the hopes that I have no idea what she's going to bring. At least I know that there's a possibility that she could be bringing a lot that we just haven't seen. So I'm very happy with this kind of like a wild card pick. But it's better than someone that I know that I don't want on my team. So I'm happy with this. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Any thoughts, Matthew, before I give you mine?
Extremely attractive. I don't know who she is, but she looks the part. So I'm sure Bananas and some of these other guys, single guys, will want to keep her around as much as they possibly can.
Yep. Yuppers. And what I thought Michelle was going to do to me is what I am going to do to you, Matthew. I can't have you winning again. So for that reason, Miss Casey, KZ is going to be your sabotage from me. I was thoroughly disappointed by having her on my team. At least one of the other drafts. I can't remember if she had it in the last draft, but she just does not bring anything to the table. She doesn't have none on this season. So is she going to be fitting in with like the Tory? I just don't know what she's going to bring without having her safety net of Nani on the season. And I don't expect much. So
she's not going to bring drama. She's not going to bring fights.
No fights. No.
She might bring a win or two, a daily win or two.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, she did do well with Leroy, but I don't know if she's going to have that makeup again.
I mean, if she has Danny, she'll be great. But anyone will be great with Danny.
Right.
So.
But she might not be great with getting me other points. So let's just give him over to you, Matthew.
Sorry. Yeah, she's not going to be getting she's not going to be getting confessionals. She's not going to be fighting. Obviously won't be hooking up. Between for me, so the three people I thought were set up the best coming into this on the female side was Tori, Sarah, and Casey, actually. Just in terms of winning alone, I think Casey could win, and if she gets a good partner, definitely. She's not great at puzzles. Obviously she can run. She's physical. And then between having her or Tori, I would rather have Casey. I think Tori is a better player, but I don't know. Casey's just boring. She's inoffensive to me. So yeah, she's not going to get me many points unless she wins things, but I'll take her there.
All right. And who are you going to give to Michelle now?
Okay. I will. You know what? I will give Michelle someone that I actually do like. I just think, and I alluded to it earlier, I just don't think, I think she's in a very tough setup here. I'll give Kellyanne to Michelle. Again, she's someone I'd like to see go far. I just think we know Bananas does not get along with her. Her and Wes are exes. I know they were cordial on All Stars. I could definitely see Kellyanne being someone that gets targeted very early, if not immediately here.
Sacrifice from the vets, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that's again, it's going to be a vet is going to be sent in every elimination, so they can't protect all the vets. I could see her being someone that gets thrown to the wolves pretty quick. And it's not a scenario where she can just pick up all the rookies and go against the vets.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be Johnny on her side necessarily. So,
You think John A will be on her side?
No, I don't. Well, I mean, they weren't, but John A does make men fences and works with people that she didn't work with in the past. So maybe she could help her. But you're right, though, that she could potentially be on the outside.
I think she's going to be on the outside. She's a good partner, but she drops the ball when it counts. And It's just, I love Kellyanne, so I'm happy to have her on my team, but I just don't necessarily think that she's going to be safe. I agree. She's going to get put in a lot unless she gets lucky and say she's with a Troy, with a Danny, like she gets a couple weeks where she's with powerful people or strong people that people are too scared to go against. She could get some safety. She's not great with alliances, though. We know this about her. She's not fake. She doesn't play that social strategy the way other people do, the way John A can. And so I'm scared for her, but I love her. Yeah.
Yeah, I love her too. Like
I'm scared for
I
her.
think if there was a few more All-Stars people here, potentially, specifically on the male side, like if you get like say like a Mark Long was in instead of a Jordan, like that would really change things. But the fact that like these newer players or these more recent players have more numbers and like it's just so easy for Kellyanne to be targeted. With that said, based on like the strength of all these people, I wouldn't be shocked if any of these pairs won like 2 eliminations and then that changes everything. So it's not like she can't win a couple. I just think she'll be going in, which is why I think that's a good sabotage pick there.
Definitely a good sabotage pick, but it's also like a welcomed sabotage pick. So it's not too painful, I don't think. Okay, so Matthew, let's go back into our regular drafting, and you are going to choose your next male.
I'm gonna take Darrell. Haven't been super impressed with Darrell the last couple seasons that he's done. He's like another person like similar to like a Nelson, I feel, where like he'll work with the main alliance, but they won't have a problem throwing him in when it's necessary or when the numbers start to dwindle. I do think Darrell will potentially be a little bit better set up because of these all-star connections. And then also the connections with some of the newer people. But I don't see Darrell winning or even getting to the end. But I just think for me, it's like I'm looking at Darrell versus Yes. I think Yes is someone that will be targeted a little bit more than Darrell will be earlier, where Yes would have a better shot of winning at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Darrell is kind of like a safe pick to like get halfway through, and then like we'll see from there. Not like super excited about the pick, but he's like good for confessionals, like super likable guy, and I don't think anyone's going to target him immediately off the bat.
Yeah, I think that Darrell, obviously he's always going to be a decent pick, but he hasn't been, doing the confessionals as much as before and like be part of like the winning group. I wish that he was more willing to strategize and kind of get in with like the numbers at times, just so he could put himself in a better position. So of course, I want him to do well. I just don't know if he is capable of setting himself up to do well. And so it really would have to depend on his partners that he has that will bring him into certain things. Because like he won't do it on himself. Like she's probably gonna have a chip on his shoulder against Bananas this season. Yeah, I just don't know if he'll be.
But Darrell and Wes have a pretty good relationship.
And Wes, okay,
yeah, better than and so we'll see. And Wes has that respect for Darrell, and so does Bananas. But like Darrell, just again, he's not a huge alliance guy. I always want him to like grow from the previous and be like, now I got to do this. But he always sticks to his tried and true. And like, yes, it's got him a win 4 times. Like it's iconic.
But
times change, and you have to change with it, as we've seen all the other people change with it. So you got to do that. So I hope to see something different with Darrell this season. But I love him, and I would have picked him 100%.
So for me next, I'm gonna go with someone who's a little bit more of an unknown, but I think that he will do well. Where are you on my thing? You should be here somewhere. But I'm going to go with Tristan. So Tristan was the winner of the UK. He was at least an hour ahead of the other guys that were competing in the final. So you know that he's going to be pretty damn good. Where is this picture, though? Maybe I didn't put it on here by accident. I thought I did. Any thoughts, guys, while I look for his picture?
I mean, he was going to be
I
a
thought
pick for me just because he's a winner, but I don't know much about him.
Yeah, Tristan was good. He was like really solid as a player. I found him to be like a little boring, which like at the end of the day, it's like that's not a huge deal. Like he's physically strong. Like he obviously could win. Um, I didn't find him to be like a super exciting presence on the screen, but like definitely could see him doing well. And like you get the right partner again. It's like he's not someone that's going to hold anyone back, clearly. But yeah, I think like at this point, it's like definitely a solid pick there.
I can't find his picture, so I'm sorry we can't see what he looks like, even though it should have been here. It's so weird that it like disappeared. Okay, Michelle, who do you have for your next guy pick?
Okay. Sorry. The research I should have done previous. Anyway, story of my life. Okay, so I have to pick a guy first, yes?
Mhm.
Okay, you guys picked my 2 next picks, so I really don't know. I think I'm gonna go with. Okay, my options are. Okay.
Here's Tristan, in case people were wondering who he was.
You know what? God, this is so tough. It's like, do I go with someone unconnected who I might like more? It's tough to say. I think because I don't really have anyone else on my team like this, I have to make this decision, which is to pick someone who, based on connections, should be good for a while and make it pretty deep in. And that's going to be Ben from Survivor. I never thought I would pick him, but I just like, he's an evil that I know. He's pretty strong and good at eliminations. He's feisty. I don't like anything else about him. But he has Sarah on his side. He's going to have Danny somewhat, which, as you're talking about, could escalate to Bananas and Wes and other people who might want to work with Survivor people. And I just see him being a little bit better insulated than some other people. So I have to go with him. He can be the bottom of my team for all I care.
I mean, yeah, I mean, this is kind of where he's going to fall into the drafting here. I think he actually could do decently well. And he made it obviously to the final in USA, but he was taken out due to injury. Hopefully that's healed and it's not going to hinder him doing well this season. But I was liking him more at the end of this season. And so it could be because of who he was working with, and that he was kind of putting a little bit of a distance between himself and Sarah. Not sure, but if the energy that he had at the end of his season was the energy that he brings into this one, I can get behind Ben. So we'll see how he does.
Yeah, I think Ben, like it could go one of two ways. I think if Ben could be very well insulated, I mean, he's probably has like some sort of connection with Casey too, just a big brother survivor. And then obviously Sarah, Danny, and he could be well connected there. But Ben is also kind of the type of person where he gets very angry very easily. And people could try to rile him up if he's not with like their alliance. And I could see people like Wes, Jordan, Bananas trying to get under his skin and it really working, which would be funny, and you could get some fight points there.
That's the other thing I kept in mind.
But
yeah.
All right, Michelle.
So, yeah, I think at this point it's like it's a strong pick.
Yeah. This is,
okay.
For
my lady, I'm picking between 2 people, and I'm going to make this decision because I just picked someone who I think is going to be better insulated. Now I'm going to pick someone who's not going to be insulated as well, but who I think has a really good shot based on literally this little bio I just read. And that's going to be Emily from Australia. I'm picking her because she's a gold medal Olympic athlete. So I know that Olympic athletes don't always do well in the challenge. We've seen them do terribly. That said, I looked it up. She's got 2 elimination wins, 1 loss, but she was with a partner. So I don't know if her partner messed her up or not. She seems strong, athletic. So I'm hoping that she's someone who can make it to the end.
Yeah, she's a great pick, especially in this position. She was on the outside of an alliance, and so she was kind of getting thrown in a lot. Like if she didn't win, she was basically being thrown in, and she was able to hold her own. I can't remember the elimination she went out on, but like I
Marley.
think she was
someone named Marley.
Okay, I remember who Marley is, but I can't remember what the elimination was though. Marley was like he was a good guy. I liked him as a person. Anyways, I think that she could do well if she has a good partner. I can see her getting in if she's like tied to some good people. So she's definitely a great competitor and a great partner. We'll just see how well she can be insulated in this season.
Yeah, Emily's a beast. Like she gets compared to Laurel a lot, rightfully so. Like build wise, like very tall, like physical presence. Didn't really get along with a lot of people in the house, but again, like that was like there was that massive Bachelor alliance, which she was obviously not a part of, and they were kind of against her from the start. So we'll see if she can like better insulate herself now. I do worry that maybe her and Kiki will not be super close and tightly aligned going into this. But yeah, I mean, Emily could beat anyone in a physical elimination. And if it does skew that direction, like I could see her doing very well.
Definitely.
Love it.
For me, I'm going to choose.
Pretty obvious now.
Is it though? Who's left?
Not a lot of options left. Well, no, not that obvious. There's,
I think I'm going to choose. Naya.
Yeah.
Next. Now I'm not sure how well Naya's going to do, obviously, but like I think that she might have some numbers on her side. I do worry about heights and stuff like that with her, but I think that she might be in a position where she does well. Like she'll have like Jordan on her side, and Jordan's going to have most likely Tori on. Wait, did we not pick Tori yet?
No, Tori's still there. And I will not be picking her either. So
it's a dick move. Anyways, Naya, I realized like I have another pod in 4 minutes, so I had to finish this one up.
Okay, we can speed through.
Naya, we know one shot Naya.
Yeah. Yeah, Naya's cool. I will not be picking Tori. I will pick Justine.
Yes,
I love her. She has some friends at least. I think it's easy for her to get into a crew. And I just love her. So I'm gonna take someone that I love over someone I don't like.
Perfect. Justine,
love it.
Show you a quick picture.
And there's more girls than guys, right? Left? Anyway, whatever.
I think we just have a round of each. So okay. Matthew, your last guy pick, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
There's 3 guys left.
No, is it? Yeah.
There's 3 guys left. So yes.
Yeah, I'll take Nathan. I liked him on the UK. I don't think he'll do super well, but he's a fun guy. Yeah, he's tight with Kaz, I believe, outside of the game. So there's something there. Maybe he knows Theo, so I'll just take Nathan.
Yeah, they were on Celebrity X on the beach together, so he definitely knows Theo. Nice. Yeah, he's likable. He's friends with everybody. He gets in alliance with everybody, and so that could work in his favor. But it also could work not in his favor if he's put with somebody that is not well liked. So I like Nathan. I think he shows that he was a pretty good competitor, and he's taller, so that's always a plus. Who's left in the guys? Rodrigo?
Yes, or Rodrigo.
Oh my God, yes. I'm taking yes, of course. Yes, I can't believe he fell this far. Only because he's going to be against Wes. That I worry about having him if that rivalry is still going on. I just think that he might get targeted or get thrown in.
I just don't like yes.
Then that's that too. Okay, Michelle, what's your final girl pick or guy pick?
Oh yeah, so obviously I have Rodrigo because that's the end, right? He won Argentina, so hopefully he's good. For the girls, obviously I have 2 options, right? There's 2 options. Oh no, there's 3 because there's Claudia. Okay. So for the last pick, I think I'm gonna go with fuck it. I'll go with Tori because I want to get those points. There's going to be fight points. There's going to be points for things. She's very well insulated. She can be at the bottom of my totem pole with Ben, so we're going to have her.
Yikes, man.
And I just don't know about Amber. I don't know if she's going to leave. I don't know if they're going to replace, I don't know what's going on with that, so that's why I made that choice.
I think wait, who's left then? So
Claudia and Amber.
I'm going to take Amber. For the hope that if she does get taken out of the game, that I'm going to get Jenny West instead. So I'm going to bank on that. Queen Amber here. And that means that Matthew, you get Claudia. I see.
All right.
So
don't know who she is. I was really hoping Amber would fall to me as the #1 Amber stan, but I think that's good logic going with the Jenny West potential as well. Because if she gets in, she is quite the beast.
Yeah.
Quite the beast. Well, thank you, both of you, for being here to draft. I'll run through quickly each of our teams. So Matthew has Danny, Kaz, Theo, Zara, Benjamin, Casey, Darrell, Justine, Nathan, and Claudia. I have Wes, John A, Bananas, Sarah, Grant, Sophia, Tristan, Naya, Yes, and Amber. And Michelle, you have Jordan, Jody, Troy, Kiki, Nelson, Kellyanne, Ben, Emily, Rodrigo, and Tori. Looking
pretty
forward
even.
It's pretty even. I don't
pretty
know
evenly spread
how these are going to shake out. But Dan thinks that Matthew has the stacked team. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for drafting here with me here today and talking about the reunion show. We'll be back starting, I think, Wednesday to be talking about the season.
The 8th, yeah.
We might change the times necessarily because we will have it for all day. So we'll probably do maybe the same time, but we might figure things out a little bit differently just because we'll have the episode all day long. So thanks, everybody. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks, everybody here in the chat, for participating and having fun with us here on a Friday afternoon. Like this video and let us know in the comments section who has the best team. Yeah, I'm picking some heavy hitters. Yes, I am Chasing K. We will see you next Wednesday. Bye. Thank you.